just for the record, you know, when I first started giving these budget addresses, I never had these. Okay, well, good evening, everyone. Members of the Board of Aldermen, members of the Board of Apportionment and Taxation.
Good evening.
Members in the audience. Tonight marks the 20th budget address for me as mayor of the city of Shelton. I recall on February 21st, 1992's message portrayed a very grim financial picture. That budget presented many economic challenges. Issues such as overstated tax collection rates, high debt service increases, employee layoffs, use of one-time revenues to balance the operating budget, large reductions in the educational cost-sharing funding from the state, limited growth in the grand list, high national unemployment, and a national recession. Sound familiar? That year I announced a 7.86 increase in the mill rate, 27% increase in taxes overall. Fast forward 20 years, and the highlights show a very different picture. And to that point, I might add, we are in a most enviable position given the fiscal condition of other municipalities, our state, other states, and the federal government, and what they find themselves in. It is also fitting to ask ourselves, how did we do it? How we got to the financial position where we were recognized nationally as one of the best affordable suburbs to live in, and how our taxes continue to be the lowest around, and how we continue to be a community of choice for our business partners. And I'll pause for a moment to verify, or pass out a handout to all of you at the front table here that demonstrates that a national affiliation, Bloomberg Business Week, has recognized Shelton in 2009 as the most affordable community in Connecticut. And consequently, they've done it again for 2010.
He's going to keep them all. I'll keep them all.
And so, having said that, difficult choices had to be made, like reducing the workforce and the amount of our overall debt. And then we had to rewrite the book on how to provide constituent services within their ability to pay. And while the state and other municipal governments adopted defined benefit plans with unsustainable benefit costs, we chose to provide defined contribution retirement plans for our employees, a decision that today has made us the fiscal envy of many surroundings around the state. We have developed a financial structure that has created economic stability even in recessionary years. We have seen our grand list grow from just under $1 billion in 1991 to over $5.3 billion in 2010. And with this, I would announce that this year's grand list will generate $837,000 in new tax dollars to help our taxpayers through this difficult economic time. In addition to grand list growth, our long-term debt also plays a major role in our economic stability. We have invested in our educational infrastructure, our school buildings and ball fields. We have purchased open space, and we have voter approval to begin significant road improvements without impacting our overall debt. Those are just some of the issues that we've had to deal with over the past 20 years, and our handling of them has brought us this year where we find ourselves on course. We have not fallen prey to reckless spending. Our revenues exceed spending in this budget by some $203,000, thereby enabling us to provide some assistance in the form of a small tax decrease. I'm sure that the Shelton taxpayers will be helped when they find themselves burdened with the call from our governor for shared sacrifice. and we have not been detoured by special interest or our political critics or second guessing by the media, but decisions that have been made with an eye to benefit all of our residents. Over the years, we have had to deal with continued passage of unfunded educational mandates by the state and federal governments. Laws that I might add still remain on the books and which year after year fail to win repeal or change. The state legislature's majority party fails to grant municipalities relief from these unwise, unfair, and deficit-causing practices which adversely affect educational results. And at the same time, my budget will fully fund our educational request and continues the necessary municipal services at current spending levels. Finally, the state of Connecticut may be realizing that they cannot spend beyond their means. The big question remains whether or not the majority party in Hartford is willing to rein in their excessive spending. I am personally grateful for those department heads and bargaining units who have worked with the administration over the years in a true spirit of awareness and cooperation. I am therefore proposing a tax decrease for every taxpayer. The mill rate will go from 18.61 mils down to 18.57 mils. And the budget is based on revenue projections of $112,116,632 and expenditures of $111,913,313. As I have said over the years, the budget process is 5.5 months long, and some information may change, requiring the Board of Aldermen to make adjustments, and I would encourage you to do so. In closing, I wish you well during your budget deliberations, and as we all work to provide a high quality of life based on our residents' ability to pay, should be our mission. Thank you and good night.